What's going on, bro? Just wanted to check in. I wanted to let you know about one thing that might actually be killing your progress and your gains in the gym. So the first thing I want to talk about is switching up your exercises too often. Now, if you're on like a certain like push-pull leg split, which I know a lot of people do that, like back and bis, chest and tris, and they do their legs. One thing you got to make sure, if you want to see progress, you need to have some sort of consistency with your workouts. So what that looks like is, let's say on your push day, your bench day, your chest press, you decide I'm going to do bench press on one day for push. Then the next day you say, oh, I don't feel like doing bench today. I'm going to do the machine press, but I'm going to do this for more reps as opposed to like I did on the bench press. So let's say on the bench press you did 3 sets of 5 reps. Then the next push day, the next chest day, you decided, okay, now I'm going to do the chest press machine for 10 reps. It's really hard to scale and track your progress when you jump around with different exercises like that. Don't get me wrong, both exercises are great in terms of developing your chest, but what you want to make sure you do to see optimal and the most linear progress, you want to make sure you keep your workouts and your exercises as similar as possible. So I'll give you an example. So I'll usually break it up on a weekly basis. So let's say we'll use push-pull legs, for example. So on the push day, the first day of push, I'm gonna do heavy bench press for sets of 5. And then the second push day of the week, which would be like the Thursday, right? I would do sets of 10. So I have like a heavier day and then a lighter day with more volume, if that makes sense. So then when I come back next week, that Monday, I would be back to the heavy. Now, because it's the heavy day, we did the heavy day last week, we wanna make sure that we add weight to the heavy day, or you can add sets. There's different ways to add volume and intensity to your workouts, but essentially adding more weight over time for the same rep scheme that you're doing on the same exercise. So if you do that over the course of 10 weeks, so let's say you're doing a 10-week program, you start at 100 pounds on an exercise, and by the end of week 10, you're able to do 150 pounds for the same exercise for the same amount of reps. That means you went up 5 pounds a week, every week linearly. You're more likely to see progress like that doing the same exercise over and over and over again, as opposed to jumping around. Oh, today I'm gonna do flies instead. Today I'm gonna do, I don't feel like hitting chest today, I'm gonna do legs instead. Or you understand what I'm saying? You need to make sure you keep everything in some sort of layout, some sort of plan that you have written for yourself, and progressively overload. So that's the phrase of the day. Progressive overload is so important when it comes to making progress in the gym. Progressive overload, which I've talked about before in one of my previous videos, is essentially increasing your volume and intensity over the course of your gym sessions. So there's different ways you can change the volume and intensity. You can add more reps, more sets, drop sets, supersets. There's so many different things that you can do, but understand that in order to make progress, you have to keep pushing your body past its limit on a weekly basis. Now, there's going to get a point where you're going to hit a wall and you're going to plateau. You're going to notice, okay, well, I'm not really able to make any more progress. I can't really add any more weight to the bar. That's a good sign. Maybe it's time to go for a deload week. You take a week where you use lighter weights, scale back the amount of sets that you're doing, get more sleep, get more rest, more recovery, and then you come back the next week, try and pick up where you left off and bring the intensity back again. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I just wanted to make sure you guys understand that when you jump around from exercise to exercise, you're really shooting yourself in the foot, and you'd be making such faster progress if you just kept up with the same exercises and repeated it over and over and over again. It's almost like exposure therapy. If I wanted to get really good at pull-ups, why would I be doing like rows or a bunch of other stuff? I should just be doing a bunch of pull-ups. And over time, of course, your body's gonna get better at doing pull-ups. Just like your body gets better anything that you do with exposure therapy. You start playing a video game that you like. Over time, you're eventually gonna get better at the video game. You don't get better at the video game by reading about the game. Sure, you might find some information, stuff like that, but maybe a better example would be like, you don't get better at the video game by throwing a football. How's that gonna help? You understand what I'm saying? So obviously they're completely different, but you will find yourself having the most success when you are linearly, progressively overloading and doing the same exercises or routines over and over again. Now, this is also for a certain period of time. After a while, you're gonna have to change it up because your body's gonna adapt to the stimulus that you've been providing it. So every 10 to 12 weeks is about a good gauge of when you should change your programming. So just want to provide that insight for you guys. Hope that helps you out. Drop a comment. Let me know if you guys progressively overload and what you're doing for your workout routine. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'll see you guys in the next video.